Franks from American Multisport Cyclery, head mechanic, and this is your pro tip of the week. We are going to be discussing using your junction box to fix a jumping gear or a gear malfunction. So it's your rear derailleur not shifting correctly, not allowing you to go from one cog to the next. It could be extremely aggravating while you're on a ride to have any type of clicking sounds or failure to move into a desired gear. So we're going to teach you how to do that with a junction box. Important thing is to note here. First of all, this video only applies if you have a DI2 drivetrain. And number two, we should probably discuss how you can avoid knocking the derailleur out of adjustment or out of alignment. So some pro tips here I'll say is if you're traveling to a race or you're traveling to your group ride, what you're going to want to do if you're throwing this thing in the car is make sure it's always stored drive side up. So if you're fixing a flat, whatever it might be, you're laying it down on the side that the crank is not on. And then obviously putting in your car, transporting your bike from one place to another, you want to have it drive side up as well. So the reason for that is if you're laying this bike down and putting any type of force on the rear derailleur, it can knock it out of alignment. Same thing applies for your front derailleur. So this is very precise movement in the back. You could bend derailleur hangers and so on. It makes for a finicky drivetrain if you end up hitting this derailleur in any way, shape, or form. So let's get to it. Let's talk about how we can use the junction box to not only fix those skipping gears, but also prolong the life of your drivetrain. Okay, so what we are dealing with here is a customer that was complaining of a skipping chain, having trouble getting into the second cog, so we're going to shift it. We're getting some skipping there. All right, so that right there tells me it's not going into the cog, so that tells me that we need to move that derailleur inward a little bit to get the pulley wheels aligned with it. So how are we going to do this without using any tools? There's only one button on your junction box right here. You're going to hold that down until the light turns red. And how I like to remember the adjustments here is we're trying to move the derailleur in. So the big button right here goes to the larger cogs, also moves the derailleur in. The small button goes to the smaller cog, moves the derailleur out. So we would be using this if we were having trouble getting into the smallest cog, but that's not the case. So all I'm going to do is I put my hand on here to make sure I'm going the right direction. All right, I'm going to hit the big button because my objective is to move the derailleur inward a little bit towards the large cog, so large button, large cog. I'm going to hit this button 2 times, it's going to do a micro shift, and then at this point, it shifts over fine. To double check our work, we still have the red light on. I'm going to hold this down until we get green and red, and then it shuts off, meaning the junction box is no longer on in adjustment mode. I'm going to shift into the small cog. It works fine. Second cog, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and 11th. And then we are good all the way across the board. And that's what I have for you for our pro tip of the week. If you like what you saw, go to our YouTube page at American Multisports to stay up to date on our latest videos. We do triathlon training, we do bike services, bike fit videos, all that jazz. We can teach you everything you need to know about your bike. You ever stumble across any issues you can't fix at home, bring it in, we'll fix it for you. Take care. Have a great week.